13. One Punch Man. First up is One Punch Man, a series that somehow has a ton of variation in every episode as well as none at all. In every single arc, characters end up fighting against an insurmountable enemy and losing, only for Saitama, the iconic caped baldy, to come and beat them in one punch right at the end. Yet, while the structure for these arcs all share the same foundational concept, the character interactions, fight scenes, and pacing all differ widely. One Punch Man is a high-octane, hilarious, and downright incredible series that is easy to burn through. Plus, OPM is on Netflix, making it more accessible as well. For those who end up loving One Punch Man, it might be worth giving the Mob Psycho 100 anime a try as well, considering it has the same creator, a man known as One, and it's equally as incredible of a fantasy series as OPM. 12. Megalobox. Megalobox took a lot of people by surprise when it was first released in 2018, and it surprised even more people recently with the confirmation of its upcoming second season. The anime was made as a sort of pseudo-celebration in commemoration for the 50th anniversary of Ashita no Joe, an iconic boxing anime comparable to Rocky Balboa in its style and structure. Yet, for something that was made to celebrate another series, Megalobox really does a good job standing on its own two legs. The world is interesting. Junk Dog, aka Joe, is a relatively mysterious MC that viewers want to learn more about, and his fights are pretty amazing to watch as well. And, because it follows Junk Dog's relatively short career, there are only 13 episodes to watch in the first season. 11. Baccano. Baccano was many people's first introduction to how anime could tell more adult stories while still including fun, fantasy, and hilarious characters. Plus, the show is very stylistically similar to the original Fullmetal Alchemist anime, which brought it a slew of new fans as well. Baccano is a short story about prohibition, the mafia, and an elixir of immortality. Oh, and it also has a gigantic cast of characters who all have their own motivations and time in the spotlight. Because of the character diversity and compact narrative, Baccano makes for a fantastic series for people to watch on a weekend off. 10. Erased. Erased is one of those go back in time to change the past stories similar to Back to the Future, but done so incredibly well. A1 Pictures is the animation studio behind this, known for quite a variety of anime, such as the Fairy Tail adaptation, Blue Exorcist adaptation, and they even made the absurd series known as Gate. What Erased does differently though, is that MC Satoru Fujima is an adult that travels back in time to when he was in middle school to solve a murder mystery. So, as a child not even in high school, Satoru has to investigate very adult issues and convince people he knows what he's talking about, all in the body of a child. That, combined with the fact that he goes back to the present a couple of times, and the impeccably well-written story between him and the girl he's trying to save, KO, makes Erased the perfect thriller to binge in a day or two. Oh, and most if not all viewers will find that the opening song of Erased is stuck in their heads for weeks to come. 9. No Game No Life. What if arguments weren't settled with words or with fists, but with the results of a game? That's the concept of No Game No Life, and that would have been simple enough as a setting. But, the author takes it even further and throws two shut-in siblings who are atop the world's best gamers on Earth into the world of Disboard, so obviously, things get a whole lot more interesting. No Game No Life is an anime with some truly beautiful art, a great soundtrack, charming characters, and an absolutely unique concept. Sure, it relies pretty heavily on fanservice and referential humor, but at the end of the day, Sora and Shiro are some of the most memorable protags in recent memory, and it so desperately deserves a second season. 8. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, better known as just Konosuba, is by far the most popular comedic anime of this generation, and for good reason. Unlike other isekai anime currently airing, the cast of characters in Konosuba rarely decimate their opponents, even with how overpowered they are. There's a unique pace to the comedy in this series, such as with Kazuma's lightning-fast sarcastic retorts or Aqua's ability to swap from an overconfident jerk to bawling mess in a microsecond. And, because of the fast-paced jokes, the episodes feel like they fly by, making it easy to get through rather quickly. 7. Devilman Crybaby. Unlike a lot of other series on this list, Devilman Crybaby is not a happy-go-lucky story or a comedic masterpiece. It has some funny moments, sure, but Devilman is nihilistic to its core, as author Go Nagai intended it. But, when Masaaki Yuasa was approached with the concept of creating his own spin-off Devilman story, things somehow managed to get even darker. It's honestly a psychological sort of experiment with the gratuitous amounts of violence, gore, and other adult themes. Though, to be fair, it's not quite on the same level as some other, more nuanced, psychological anime. But, being sad or dark isn't equivalent to being bad, as the series is incredibly well made. The style of the show alone is memorable enough, but then the animation, rap scenes, voice acting, horror elements, and action scenes all take it over the top. 6. Keep Your Hands Off Izuken. Keep Your Hands Off Izuken is such a uniquely charming anime. It's popular, for sure, but this show deserves twice if not 3 times the amount of renown it currently has. The show follows the story of 3 girls, Midori, Tsubame, and Kanamori, who all love art in different ways. Well, Kanamori is more in it for the money, but all 3 of them work incredibly hard to put together their own animations and projects. Someone could even categorize this series as a fantastical slice of life, though that category is already full to the brim right now. Every single episode of this show brings a brand new concept and world to life, whether it's through the sound design, the characters, or the world building. Midori's the world builder, Tsubame is the character illustrator, and Kanamori is the no-holds-barred manager. Izuken is an anime full of experimentation, passion, love for the industry, and so much more. And it not only engrosses the audience in its story and world but also teaches them about the meticulous process of creating anime. 5. Little Witch Academia. The animation studio known as Trigger is a big name in the anime community. They're the ones behind Gurren Lagann, Kiznaiver, Brand New Animal, Kill La Kill, and of course Little Witch Academia. Their shows tend to feature iconic action scenes, fantastic character designs, and a lot of fight the power vibes. And, while Little Witch Academia might be a bit more down to earth, oddly enough, than some of their other series, it absolutely has all these same traits. The narrative structure is a bit weak, like most Trigger anime, but this Harry Potter-esque anime is still one of the most memorable in years. And, it manages to get its entire story out in only a single season, making it exceptionally easy for anyone to watch. 4. Brand New Animal. Alright, let's just say it, Brand New Animal is just Trigger Studios' attempt at a Beastars-like anime. And, just like most other shows Trigger makes, it's a visual spectacle, but the writing isn't quite as standout as the animation. That said, for anyone who has seen any of the previous anime Trigger has made, such as Gurren Lagann, still one of the best mecha series out there, Kill La Kill, or Little Witch Academia, this show is more of that style, just with animal people instead of magic, sentient clothes, or giant robots. It's not the most complex or interesting story, but it is a fun time all the way through. 3. Angel Beats. To contrast, BNA Angel Beats is an anime from 2010 with an art style that doesn't fully hold up compared to modern style trends, but its writing still knocks most other series out of the park. What else is there to say? This show is an absolute addicting tearjerker from start to finish. PA Works manages to write a cast of 15 plus people to their natural conclusions in just 13 episodes, and they do it fantastically. Each character's narrative conclusion brings forth more waterworks, the dialogue between characters is so realistically believable, and that opening song is still one of the best in the anime medium. Angel Beats is not a show for people who only like happy or action type media, but for those who can cry, there's not much better. 2. Death Parade. Death Parade isn't one of the most popular anime out there like Naruto, One Piece, or My Hero Academia, but it still had a pretty big following while it aired. It's a short story with a simple concept that oozes atmosphere, style, and charm. This was an anime from 2015 that took off online because of its funky fresh opening animation and song, only to reel people in with the whole heaven or hell death game concept. Basically, the anime takes place at a bar called Quindisim that functions as the stopping point between heaven and hell. In this bar, people are subjected to sly tests, usually in the form of bar games, that are much more complex than they first appear. Decim, the bartender, is the one who oversees and lays down judgment once the game is over, and these scenes combined with the humanizing conversations with his assistant and sudden amnesiac Ona is what makes Death Parade so great. It's all packed neatly into 12 episodes that people will have a blast watching. 1. Children of the Whales. Lastly, Children of the Whales is a bit of an old hipster recommendation since the anime by J.C. Staff first aired back in 2017. But, even then, it's a show that has still stayed memorable, and that says a lot for something that seemingly came out of nowhere. The story of this anime is complex, to say the least, and there are a lot of mystical concepts that it slowly introduces over its 12-episode run. To name a few, there are the mud whales, the magic power they use called thymia, who the marked are, what exactly a lycos is, and so much more. But, those who can keep up with the relatively brisk pace this series introduces new concepts, characters, and events will suddenly find that they've been watching for a couple of hours now. It's that type of an addicting watch. That's it for the video. Tell me what other video would you like to see in the comments below the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.